Most people would be thrilled to have one giant wildlife park that boasts the Big 12, along with hundreds of bird species and dozens of other mammals. Yet there is one idyllic place in South Africa that has two adjoining parks that calls the Big 12 home. This super park is, strangely enough, not even a national park, but a provincial one, under the control of KwaZulu-Natal province. These reserves sustain populations of the biggest predators and herbivores on Earth, and yet are accessible to virtually anyone. Shishui Mfolozi game reserves are havens for wildlife and the primal soul of man. So join us today as we reveal these gems of Africa in a tale of two parks.
Jumbo, I'm Bill Ball, and I'm going to be your guide on this episode of Journeys in Africa. And this is Africa.
The Africa experience was summed up by Ernest Hemingway when he said, "All I wanted to do was to get back to Africa. We had not left it yet, but when I would wake at night, I would lie, listening, homesick for it already." Join us each week as we explore the entire continent of Africa, from the plains of the Serengeti to the heights of Kilimanjaro and all points in between. We'll introduce you to the history, culture, and wildlife of one of the most exotic and extraordinary places on Earth. Journeys in Africa. This is one of the few places where there are good populations of both black and white rhinos. The chief difference between black and white rhinos is not the color. They have basically the same skin tone. White rhinos were probably named for the Dutch word for wide and mispronounced white. The wide is actually one of the key differences between the two African rhino species. It refers to the mouth. White rhinos, also called square-lipped, are grazers, as they have a broader jawline to grab as much grass in a mouthful as possible. Blacks, however, are browsers, eating shrub and tree leaves, so they developed a narrower mouth with a prehensile lip that helps the hungry animal grip the branches easier. The differences between the two African rhinos goes beyond the mouth. The black or hook-lipped rhino is smaller and holds its head up as it walks, probably in response to its diet being up in bushes, while the white walks with its head lower to have continuous access to its grassy diet. Disposition is decidedly different as well. The black is more aggressive and thus travels alone, while the calmer white can be quite gregarious, not only with its own kind, but other grazers are tolerated as well. Shishui and Mfolozi are two of the limited number of refuges that have both in sizable numbers. Both rhino species are highly endangered. This is primarily due to poaching for their horns. The horn is not even a true horn, but a growth made of keratin. Keratin is the same material as your fingernails. Poachers are only interested in the horns, so the rest of these walking tanks are left behind. South Africa has the best ranger system in Africa, with automatic weapons, jeeps, aircraft, and a shoot-to-kill authority. But even here, the battle is not fully successful. The once growing numbers are now stagnating and may even be reversed, with growing poaching problems coming from neighboring countries. A worldwide ban on rhino products helped, but without the cooperation of the offending countries where the horns are shipped to, it will be an uphill fight. Most people come to the park to see the rhinos. They have over 400 black and over 1,500 white. But there is so much more here. All 12 of the Big 12 are found here. It has an incredible array of habitats, and it has some of the most spectacular scenery in all of South Africa. Another of the Big 12 that are pretty much a guaranteed to see is the giraffe, with over 500 in the park. The South African subspecies is the reticulated giraffe, and you can see how it gets its name by its specially shaped spots. Shishui giraffes are wary, unlike some of the other parks we visited, because their chief and really only major predator is here, the lion. An adult giraffe can not only spot a lion a long way off from its towering position, but its kick can break a lion's jaw, effectively ending his life. Lions, though, have some strategies that can help move the scales a little towards their favor by hunting as a unit and using ambush attacks. A ranger once told me that lions drive giraffes to the paved roads in the park where their hoof gait is unstable and may cause them to slip and fall, allowing the big cat an easy kill without fear of a deadly kick. For most safari goers, thinking of one of these graceful and beautiful animals falling prey is not what we want to do. Instead, taking frameable photos is more in line and something that seems very easy in Shishui. The most common antelope in the park is the impala. This is one of the winners of the animal kingdom. They are the dominant big game in the wetter eastern half of the country. They are both grazers and browsers, giving them a broad habitat range. The only limit on their distribution is water. Impala need to drink daily, so a regular water source is necessary, effectively excluding them from the arid west. The secret of the park's success rests, at least in part, in its thriving translocation program. One of the really fascinating things about the KZN parks is their ability to move animals from one park to another to establish brand new populations. They were able to take impala, zebra, giraffe, buffalo, move them from one park to another to establish a brand new population. But probably their crowning glory is their translocation of rhinos, both black and white, because this park was the central location for all rhinos that are now in parks throughout South Africa. In the Infolozi section of park, there is a museum dedicated to the movement of the big game from one park to another or for the sales to private reserves and zoos. The revenue helps to support the KwaZulu-Natal Park's anti-poaching program. All white rhinos in southern Africa owe their existence to this park. From here, over the last 5 years alone, there have been 284 black rhinos relocated, while the number of white rhinos have hit stride with 1,159 individuals. This park has been a big contributor to conservation in another way: the know-how in handling and moving big game safely. Before the myriad of animal capture techniques were perfected here, animal transport was a deadly game for animal and person alike. Intensive scientific study and old-fashioned trial and error in these two parks have raised wildlife translocation to a science. Not far from the exit to the museum, another Big 12 member comes out in force. Buffalo, one of the hunters' Big Five as well, appear to be as docile as their cousins, the cow and water buffalo. Don't be fooled. They can be aggressive and unpredictable. In these reserves, they congregate into herds of 50 to 100 individuals. The herds are mixed with female, young, and bulls. Old males are forced out as they age. At over 5,000 at the last census, buffalo are quite plentiful in the park. Preferring the more open grasslands, buffalo can be easily seen along the roads. These mega herbivores outweigh all other animals in Shishui, including the combined weight of elephants, hippos, and rhinos. The only predator they fear is the lion, and even there, they're aggressive. Buffalo will take the initiative and attack young lion cubs or even adults with the intent to kill them. With those kinds of preemptive strikes and the strength in numbers, it is not a surprise to learn that these are one of the most prolific Big 12 members. The buffalo's survival experiences have served them well for thousands of years.